Alright there, sure mate Yorkie here. Taking you back to Galarian for more Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. Year of Death. With our fearsome leader aiming to be a Lich. Aiming to be powerful. See if she makes it. Well, she's already beaten Minagho at the Gray Garrison. Driven everyone out of there. So Canabres is retaken. Even kept the two tieflings alive. Shame about the magic knights. Oh well, she's life. Get out.
Make way. Warrior Queen coming through with a round for the heroes. Whoa, the heart is packed. And you considered nixing this little shindig, Beth?
When Anivia reaches the long table, your party is gathered around. She heavily flops onto the bench and hands out the tankards of beer.
I did consider it, and I am still considering it. It hasn't even been a week since the last demon was booted out of Canabris, and we really should be in a period of mourning for all the city's fallen. But the people deserve to celebrate, and she deserves to be honored for saving the city and possibly all of Minagho.
They're the best size. That was one hell of a fight.
One hell of a fight calls for one hell of a party.
According to the Watch reports, there has been no demon activity whatsoever outside Canabris. I get the feeling the fiends are as shocked by what happened as we are. What happened in the garrison, what you did, it was a miracle. I truly believe that the gods remembered us and decided to intervene.
Beth rubs her forehead pensively.
Beth, come on, you agreed. No serious business today.
All right, I'm done. No more. Who would have thought we'd be celebrating a successful attack on the Gray Garrison, our own fortress, and that we'd blow the roof off the place?
It's simply unforgivable.
Comes the cheerful voice of someone sitting at the far corner of the table.
While we're on the topic of the roof, there's already a rumor going around that you have been blessed by Iomedae herself. And it was her power granted to you that destroyed the garrison's walls and roof. And it turns out the people want a little piece of that blessing for themselves. The townsfolk are gathering chunks of the garrison's rubble as souvenirs and talismans. And I'm sure they'll hit the black market soon enough. Oh, yeah. Here, read on this for me. For good luck.
Damn foolish superstition. Drop it, Anivia. I'm not a messenger sent by the gods.
People who aren't divine messengers don't usually go around taking whole stories off of buildings and blowing packs of demons away. But if that's how you want to play it, then fine. I'm still keeping my stone, though.
Nevi! What are you on about now?
Beth mutters.
What do you mean? Do you see many people at this table who've been personally blessed by Iomedae herself?
Well, a couple perhaps.
Says the same mirthful voice that joined him before.
Iomedae's blessings are not conveyed through stones, and as public officials, we really shouldn't.
Erebeth looks to the end of the table where the voice originated, and her eyes widen as her words trail off.
I feel a little chastened after what you said about public officials. But I myself have acquired a few pieces of stone, and also wish to ask our heroine to breathe on them for good luck. So, what now? Are you going to toss me out of this fine establishment?
I would have expected better from a queen. The woman dressed in unshowy finery raises her eyebrows.
Your Majesty.
Yes, it is I. I made the journey here to deduct the cost of repairing the garrison roof from your salary. We have not been introduced. Galfrey of Minagho.
The woman rises from a seat and approaches you and holds out a hand. Well, I may not rate her as an intelligent person, but she is the queen. We'll say that. The queen has graced us with her presence. Stay here.
As you can see, yes, I am here.
Queen notices your act of disrespect but passes no comment, only quirking a brow and giving a tiniest of smiles.
Your Majesty, we were just... I'll have them arrange.
Here, Beth, finally recovering from the shock, pulse to her feet.
Calm yourself, Commander. I deliberately came here without any fanfare because I did not wish to draw attention away from our honored heroine here. My personal guard and the force I brought with me are standing watch outside the city. I ordered all of your sentries to stand down. They also deserve a break. Every person who tirelessly fought to save Canabras will enjoy themselves today, and my reinforcements will ensure peace and order.
We're celebrating while demons might be planning their next campaign.
Oh, I do not doubt that, even for a moment. But we will not give them another chance to catch us off our guard. It is time to turn back the tide.
We are at least agreed on that.
I did not come here solely to give you the chance to celebrate. But all serious discussions and official announcements can wait until tomorrow. I have big plans for all of you. Especially for you. But I want to keep you in suspense for a little while longer. So I shan't say another word. Let us mark this victory. My first toast is to you, the heroine of Canabras.
Queen smiles archly.
The fires of Canabras have died down. Now the army's path leads to the walls of Dresden, a fallen citadel that the Crusaders have been trying in vain to reclaim for 70 years. The new piece on the board might give their efforts some added momentum.
Back when Canabras, at the beginning of the Fifth Crusade. Is that her next to Beth, the hero who saved Canabras? Queen is coming, the Queen!
Rise, warriors. Today is a day of sorrow and pride. Sorrow because we weep for our brothers and sisters who perished in Canabras. Pride because despite demonic treachery, our heroes repelled the attack and saved the city. I, Queen Godfrey of Mendev, declare this day the first day of the Fifth Crusade. And I am glad to introduce the one who will lead the attack on the forces of the Abyss. The hero of Canabras, Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade. Your leader from now unto victory or death.
Knight
And
Commander.
now it's time to rest. Everyone is dismissed.
At least she recognizes power.
There. The troop review is finished. I'll give you some time to look around the camp, and then I shall expect your presence at headquarters.
Commander, please allow me to join you while you inspect our encampment. Would you wish, Beth? But I see the storyteller here. The old elf smiles when he hears your footsteps. Allow me to congratulate you on your victory and on acquiring a mythical power that's capable of casting down the strongest of demons. You got the page you were looking for from the Gray Garrison. The storyteller carefully takes a page from your hand. His fingers touch some ancient letters gently, examining them lightly, following their lines. I see myself, young, energetic, able to see. Oh God, have I found the key to my past? Finally, I will find out what my own mind has been hiding from me. The elf's expression becomes withdrawn, the wrinkles on his forehead soften. Thank you, Père Delamore. And please, follow me to my story. Let's embark on this journey together. The storyteller inhales sharply a few times and begins his story. They are leaving. The people of Keonin faced the coming earthfall and admitted they were incapable of handling the disaster. Proud rulers, artful crafters, brave warriors, wise mages, and skilled healers All of them hurry to the gates of Sovereign, looking around fearfully. A clean, safe world is waiting for them there. My people decided not to fight for Galarian. I am ashamed, and I am sorry for them. Their hearts wavered in the face of the catastrophe. My will is strong. My kinfolk are looking at me angrily. How dare I diminish their decision with my recklessness? My choice makes them cowards, traitors of their own kind, or of their own home. One of them, my former mentor, looks at me bitterly. He hands me a neat notebook with a tree-bark cover. In case you change your mind. With a heavy sigh, he returns to the line of those departing. Forgive me, brothers and sisters. I watch the gate of the Severian stone close, separating me from them. It's time for me to go too. I open my master's notebook. These are his notes about travelling between worlds. In case you change your mind. He hopes the burden I shouldered voluntarily will be too much. I will lose heart and find my way to Severian. That will never happen. My mouth set stubbornly, I tear my master's notebook to pieces. I use my false pride as a shield against my fear of what is to come. Why did the elves decide to flee and not fight? Storyteller's lips pursed with disdain. They are afraid to lose what they have. They were rulers, long-lived and powerful. They valued their lives and sunshine too much to enter a fight with the aftermath of Earthfall. Your mentor is a mage. Must be one too, yes? Yes, I am an archmage, and this title is well deserved. I have a quite delicate mastery, and succeeded in many areas of magic. But curiosity has always pushed me towards more knowledge since the first day of my apprenticeship. What exactly is the Severian Stone? A magnificent crystal bent into an arch by a mighty hand of an ancient divine creator. A great gate to other worlds. It breathes power. It dreams of eternity. So why are you angry at your fellow elves? I spent many hundreds of years in Keonin. I have always admired the way my kinfolk cared for the forest that was our home. But the rest of the world seemed to mean nothing to them. The Isle of Galarian, all its places, all forms it manifests in. I travelled widely, and then came home and told my kinfolk about my travels, but they weren't interested. They only cared about Keonin. Their lack of desire to hear about the wider world makes me sad and angry. So what happened next? Earthfall happened at night. I'm standing at the top of my tower many miles to the north of Keonin, and I see a blaze far in the south. I hear a horrendous rumble. The air is groaning, giving way to a huge rock rushing down on my world, and then a blow. Vibration that penetrates everything, reaching down into the bowels of Galarian, and up to the vaults of the sky. Crunching bones, blood from burst vessels filling my eyes with darkness, drowning in timelessness, along with the countless denizens of Galarian. Never before have we been so united in our feelings. When I come round, the darkness remains. My first terrible thought, I'm blind. But no, little by little, I begin to see the stone wall. I'm alive. Why is it so dark? The answer is quick, the smell of ash everywhere. The great burnt sacrifice filled the air with incinerated particles of what was recently the continent of Aslant. Great clouds of ash covered the sky, cutting us off from the sun and the moon, dooming us to dusk at day and complete darkness at night. My heart sinks with fear. Treacherous thoughts fill my mind. Why did I stay? Why didn't I run like everyone else when I had a chance? I clench my teeth and stand up to watch Earthfall, proudly like the last Archmage of Keonin should. Will my world really perish like this? Will I perish? No, that will never happen. I am still alive and I can fight Earthfall in the darkness. Not run from it in blind panic like my kinfolk and my cowardly teacher. But what can I do? I will not stop the disaster. I'll hardly be able to save empires from their destruction. What can I do? I am but one Archmage, powerful and weak at the same time. What exactly is Earthfall? A disaster of untold proportions, an unborn planet dropped on Galarian by blind fate, or someone's evil will. A blow so strong that the continent of Aslant is destroyed within moments, turned to ashes, wiped off the face of Galarian. In this burnt sacrifice, clouds of ash and dust are born, stealing our sun. Without the warmth of our star, the air cools, the soil is barren, dark creatures crawl out of their lairs to rule. And the most frightening thing, without the sun, all hope dies in the heart. This is the age of darkness. What was that tower you mentioned? It was my retreat from to the north of Keonin. My home away from home, my observatory. From its top I watched the stars and, when they were correctly aligned, the other worlds as well. Here in the northern wastelands I found the highest mountain and built a tower on top of it. On clear days I could see the mist over the lakes of mists and vales in the east. That's how high I was. What are you going to do now? I don't know, I need to think. My opponent, Earthfall, is much stronger than me. Without noticing, the storyteller raised his voice to a shout. It is merciless. It does not simply destroy life, it kills an era, ending the greatness of Galarian civilizations. They will sink into oblivion, be forgotten as they never existed. I need to think. Dale suddenly winces and is silent for a few moments, as he claims his heavy breathing. Calms his heavy breathing. Forgive me, I shouldn't have raised my voice. The story was much harder than many before it. Most likely because I played the main role in it. It is so strange to see myself, feel the emotions tearing me up inside. Those that I felt a long time ago, and not remember them. It's like I split, became both the storyteller and the main character. Too bad the story ended at that moment. Please, if you find other pages covered with ancient elven writings on your travels, bring them to me. I might be able to shed some light on my past, and we will find out how my story ended. Perhaps even why I forgot it. Thank you for your stories. They were mildly entertaining. I have this broken buckle. Why don't you restore it for me? The elf cautiously uncorks the vials and begins to work on his enchantments. The essence evaporates, turning into light that streams onto the buckle. The light thickens, becoming gold. The Covenant of the Inheritor, that is the name of this relic. This buckle once adorned the belt of a glorious knight from Endev, the embodiment of a promise made to a young girl by a powerful deity. A great promise that has changed much in the world. When you touch a restored relic, a strange vision comes to you. It's as if you can see the events that happened to it in the past. A burning sensation spreading across your chest from the very spot where your mysterious wound sometimes opens. What is this? The influence of the storyteller's spells, or something else? I had a vision. The old elf frowns. How strange. You are a remarkable mortal. No one has ever shared my visions before. What exactly do you think caused it? Perhaps these things have something to do with our destiny, or your destiny, or the fate of someone related to you. I do not have an answer, only advice. Seek out such relics, look for what links them all. We'll know the truth. Have you decided to join the crusade? I have decided not to, I'm afraid. My path and the path of the crusade lead in the same direction. But alas, they are not yet one and the same. After the demons were driven away from Canabres, the path into the world wound became open, if only temporarily. I am planning on using this opportunity to visit. The elf falls silent. It doesn't matter now. I'd hate to bore you with the details of my venture, which may prove useless even for myself. However, I'll try to return to the Crusaders and aid them in their confrontation with the demons after I'm done. I hope to meet you again, in this world rather than the next. Seen all this. I have to go. I wish you interesting adventures. But now we must check around. Join the campsite of Canabris Knights. That's one group.
Always watch your back.
Other lies here. group of soldiers talking loudly, laughing joyfully, and passing around a flask. So picture this, my sword is on the by the fire. There's 2 goblins about to snatch it, and 3 more are digging through my tent. And I'm sat in the bushes wearing just my mail shirt, wondering what the blast to do. An old mercenary taught me about the mail shirt. You can't sleep in armour, but it's not so bad in mail once you get used to it. Too bad no one told me not to go into the bushes without my sword. But what did you do? What did I do? I barked like crazy. Goblins are afraid of dogs, you know. So they all went wild and started running around. I spot my sword and they spot me. So I jump over to the fire wearing nothing but my mail shirt, and I grab the sword and I yell my big tough voice, "Oh, Inheritor, grant me the power to crush these filthy creatures." My sword's shining, the goblins are screaming. I jump to attack them and they fight back, but I fought them off somehow. But ever since then, I never take a step without my weapon. Taylor takes a sip from the flask. That's some story. Hey, stop gulping, leave some for us. We've only just set off and you're already drinking. And with a queen in the camp, stop this at once. The knights quickly snap to attention. Taylor raises the flask and says loudly, "Right you are, Commander Tedderbade. We are but drinking to the Queen's health." I have nothing to say to this. Allow me to remind you, Paladin, that you are in the army, not a band of mercenaries. Foolishness impairs discipline. Too much fun at the camp can turn to losses on the battlefield. All due respect, Commander Tedderbade, I answer to the Knight Commander, not to you. The fact that we're fighting together doesn't give you the right to discipline me like a sergeant disciplines a recruit. I have a feeling she didn't like hearing that. A well-dressed old dwarf is lecturing a motley company, shaking a ladle at them belligerently. Noticing you, his tieflings are bounds. Good afternoon, your commanderness. You remember us? We're the crew from the next door theatre company. The one you saved in Canabres, back when you weren't your commanderness yet. As you can see, we've come on campaign with you. We signed up to clean pots and mend the soldiers' clothes. Keeping up a theatre is expensive, so we all have to take side jobs. But we don't stop what we're doing. We're going to put on a play about your legendary feats. I rather wish you wouldn't. Of course, the crowd scenes are difficult. We can't find the people to play the hordes of demons, and we decided against using a ritual to summon real demons. Luckily, we have Master Kem. He's invented a way to solve this problem using a sound. We caught a pig and some piglets who ran away from a burned-out village. The glum and husky half-orc mumbles softly. We put the piglets in a box and scare them a little, and the sound they make is just like an approaching demon horde. But the most important question is, of course, choosing the lead actor who will play the great Knight Commander. We had a right Barney over it, breaking a number of lances as well as a shovel, a rolling pin and a set of back scratchers. But we just couldn't decide no matter what. Maybe you can help us. We have 2 candidates that are more suited to the role. One will have the honour of conveying your heroism upon the stage, Commander. I don't need a theatre like this. What if I order the soldiers to throw you out? In that case, we'll add this scene to the script. Oh, what a twist. Lead character exiles the actors of her own theatre for attempting to put on a play about a character. Great, get out of here then. Thank you for the inspiration, so long. There we are. Got rid of them fools. I'm in the campsite. Watch. Alright, the price of the Eagle Watch. And then we had to talk to her. August, what are you doing here? The burly soldier with an impressive beard greets you with a broad smile. Wilson Arms, Camp Quartermaster at your service. How may I be of help? Tell me about yourself. Quartermaster looks away sheepishly. There isn't much to tell, really. I was born in Canabres, in a humble family. I got an education, taught myself to read and write, got drafted into army, spent 3 years as shield bearer in first line, I left after I did my time and joined the Stonemasons Guild. Then moved on to shipwrights and rose to a crew chief. Sailed to Rio Barrier twice and returned with goods. Made some money, built a house, but haven't started a family yet. I think I will after we're done with this war. But a few years ago, something started gnawing at me. I got this feeling like I needed to go home. And then there was that storm headed for a storm headed for my native city. And when there's trouble in Mendev, there's only one thing to do. You go to recruiter and sign up for army. And so I did. At first, they wanted to make me an infantry sergeant, but then they decided I'd be a better fit in supply department. I can take care of army property, and I'm pretty handy when around a warehouse. Not to mention, I know how to manage a band of helpers. And so that's how I came to be quartermaster. Wilson gives you a shy smile and shrugs, as if this was a wholly unremarkable story of any typical crusader. What's your duties in the camp? A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of everything. What's an officer to a soldier? Strict father. What does that make his quartermaster like myself? Something like their mum, that's what. And make sure the lads have everything they need to defeat the enemy and come back from a battle in one piece. Wilson starts ticking off his fingers. That means food, firewood, medicine, tents, mended clothes, fixed weapons. The horses have got to be fed and watered, the camp's got to be fortified by the evening and broken up bit morning. And make sure the wages are paid on time and the wagon wheels don't squeak. And then there are reports, gods, until you asked, I never realised just how many duties I actually had. What do the soldiers think of their new commander? They mostly tell tales of your unusual power, but they don't shy away from talking about you as a person too. Soldiers are always like that. Iomade herself descended from heaven. You bet they jabber on about how she grips a sword and how good she looks in her armour. The general impression about you is that you're a tough fighter, a true warrior. That's the best kind of commander. One who knows the weight of a blade in the long fight. Tell me what you have. I think I have stuff I want to sell to you. Right, off to see the Queen, I guess. The Queen greets you with a stare. She has dropped the pompous air which she's just announced the first crusade. The face of the ruler of Mendev appears calm and thoughtful. She has made a move and now awaits her opponent's reply.
Commander, I'm satisfied with the troop review, but I do not expect they will be sufficient for the task. You will have to prove yourself a shrewd leader and hire the necessary troops with the provided funds. I have chosen a target for your campaign, and that target is Dresden, our lost outpost within the World Wound.
Makes sense.
The Sword of Valor was kept there, a banner that was once carried by Iomade herself. Our greatest relic was lost when the city fell. I should make one thing clear from the start. The Sword of Valor is no mere symbol, but a powerful weapon against demons. The holiness of the banner weakens them and robs them of one of their most dangerous abilities, teleportation. A forced march to Dresden awaits you. The Sword of Valor is kept somewhere within the Citadel. The demons probably think it's a hunting trophy. Its recovery is just as important as retaking the city itself. I hope the task is clear. I'm sending 2 specialists to help you, along with the soldiers. A historian, Nura Denduar, and a cleric, Soziel Vainik.
Listen, it's amazing here. It's like I'm in a ballad. There's knights in shining armor, deadly dangers, glorious feats. We are going to show those demons. I'm so tired of sitting in a library reading books about history. It's time I took part in it.
I'm glad to help our cause, Commander. If you have some time later, I'd like to speak with you further.
Plenty of time to talk. You're the Knight Commander's people now, her trusted advisors and companions. Now then, will you please leave us? Irabeth, you can go too.
Never imagined you'd make me commander of a new crusade. It's the one good thing I've seen you do. I have some question about my mission to retake Dresden.
Of course. I shall answer.
How did the demons manage to conquer Dresden in the first place?
That's a good question. Its walls were built by dwarf craftsmen, and the power of the Sword of Valor protected the city. Alas, where raging hordes failed, a single lying tongue was all they needed to succeed. The demoness Minagho convinced a young and ambitious crusader named Staunton Vane that the banner belonged on the battlefield. He went on a daring and unapproved raid, and the banner ended up in the enemy's hands. The city fell soon after. Ever since then, for 7 decades, it has served as a citadel for the forces of the Abyss.
I saw Staunton Vane at the Gray Garrison. He defected to the demon's side.
Oh, really? I wasn't informed of this. After Dresden fell because of Staunton, he was nearly sentenced to death. He deserved it.
Should have been.
In wartime, men are hanged for far less. But you have no idea what a terrible sight it is. A raging crowd of crusaders baying for blood. Never have my fighters looked so much like the demons we are fighting. I commuted Staunton's sentence and stripped him of his rank. Not just for him, but for my army and my country. We are not Hell Knights. We do not maintain discipline with public executions.
I can't believe no one decided to punish him unofficially.
Not in my army. I know all too well that the armies of some kingdoms tolerate humiliation, beatings, and even murder. Their commanders imagine it brings their soldiers together and enforces discipline. Anyone who tries to introduce such rules in Mendev will face a tribunal, along with anyone who tries to shield them, even upper command.
Queen's voice is like steel. What forces are at my disposal?
Everyone we saw today at the parade. First among them, the Eagle Watch, who remain a powerful force thanks to Irabeth's resourcefulness. Also marching with you are several minor knightly orders, as the minor volunteer units like to be called. And finally, I have personally selected some recruits from Neurosian. They have little in the way of battle experience, but great determination and a thirst to prove themselves. I've always thought that an army benefits from at least one such unit.
Have you?
These forces, as I said, are not enough for a march on Dresden. You will have to hire additional troops with the funds that have been provided to you. But for a brave commander, and I hope you are one, that is just the beginning. If you retake Dresden, recover the holy power of the Sword of Valor, and gain a foothold in the region, then new armies will join under your banner. The Fifth Crusade is only beginning. Many battles and victories lie ahead.
Why are we different? Well, I'm leading it, so I don't need to ask that. What about long-term goals? Do you know how to get rid of the world wound forever?
Now you are talking like a real knight commander. However, answering your question is not easy. To win this war, we must bar the demon's way. There are a few planar rifts leading to the Abyss across the territory we call the World Wound. The best specialists we could find have tried to close them on separate occasions, with no success, as you may have guessed. The World Wound is more than just a chain of portals to the Abyss. We do not understand its nature yet. The methods of rift closure known to magical science simply do not work here. However, we have a hypothesis, and a rather well-grounded one, that we must begin at the source of the problem, the place where the World Wound was opened. The main rift lies through the city of Iz, and the Threshold Fortress, deep in the former lands of Socorus. We have never managed to fight our way so far and gain a foothold to allow the Magus to explore the origins of the World Wound. So, the next step, after you succeed in Dresden, is an offensive push deeper into the World Wound, with the aim of reaching Threshold. The very threshold of the Abyss.
I have no more questions about that.
Wonderful.
Did you know the souls of angels of heaven are confined in the Wardstone?
I had guessed as much. Many angels fought alongside us in the First Crusade. Heaven was unable to mobilize its full might to aid us, but individual Celestials volunteered to fight for our cause. Then one day, they all vanished, saying that they were setting off on an important mission. Not long after, Iomede's herald erected the first wardstone in Canobris, and then the others in cities across Mendev. Even back then, I had nagging doubts, but my faith in Iomede easily assuaged them. It is for us to serve the goddess after all, not to question her works.
What a fool chatted.
Nevertheless, I am pleased that you solved the mystery of the wardstone in Canobris, and were able to save this gift of Iomede. It was a deed worthy of a knight commander of the Fifth Crusade.
The Queen subtly inclines her head in solemn acknowledgement of your service. You should know I received an unusual gift in the caves beneath Canabres. In a vision I saw the death of an angel called Lariel. Somehow he was able to grant me the ability to reveal the light of heaven.
Lariel. I knew him. He disappeared shortly before the World Wound grew, and Dresden fell into the enemy's hands. In the chaos, we had more important concerns than investigating the fate of a single angel. Even one so righteous and beloved as Lariel. And afterward, matters took a turn for the worse. The angels left us to go on their special mission. It is so strange to hear the names I used to hear when I was young, like getting a message from the past. It is sad news, but it brings me back to the times when we strongly believed in our victory, and we rushed headlong toward it without fear. Could it be that such times have come again?
What exactly are you planning to do?
Overlooking a spot of insubordination just at the moment. However, I shall answer you. I shall prepare the defenses at Nerosian and all the other border cities and plan the future of the Fifth Crusade. Does that satisfy your curiosity, Knight Commander?
My Queen, you should stay with us. The Dresden campaign is the hope of the Crusade, and the blessing of Iomede that you carry, well, that may help in the battle. The fact that you're supposedly a powerful paladin will be more useful, of course.
What is this I hear? A polite attempt to appeal to the conscience of an old sovereign?
Lead from the front.
I don't know if you realize what you're suggesting. If our enemies in the depths of the wound were to discover that I was with your army, they would immediately send their most vicious demons to attack. They would stop at nothing to be rid of me, and thereby sow chaos across Mendev. But you are right. I shouldn't be sitting it out in the rear. I am a warrior queen, and a queen of warriors. Yet my fighters have forgotten what I look like. Fine. I shall join the crusade, but on my own terms. First, I shall assemble my entourage and lead the parade out of the camp. I shall catch up with you later, along with a few hand-picked bodyguards. We'll change our armor, and I'll become a knight of a minor order and join the troops incognito. Until we approach Dresden, no one should know I am among you. But before we storm the city, I shall show myself to the troops and join the battle. Let it be a surprise for the demons. I hope you won't complain of my company on the road, Commander, since you were the one who insisted upon it.
I doubt I'll be hanging around
Do you
you.
have any other questions?
No, the task is clear.
Then let's get going. May Iomede help us.
I suspect the holy symbol was to do with her. But I'll be keeping it. Actually, not you. symbol of Iomedae, when placed on the belt, emits a holy aura. All party members in 30-foot area are plus bonus caster level checks. Made to overcome spell resistance. The weapons become good aligned and count if they were made of cold iron. That should be on our caster. Get the burn. Might also be able to learn things. Very well. Ah yes, we have something that belongs to you. Amanda, allow me to say something. Arabeth looks even more serious than usual. For you, this wasn't a war. It was agony. Gone out over decades. No one believed in victory anymore. When the demons attacked the city, for some it was a relief. At least the end had come. They laid down their weapons and surrendered without a fight. I felt the same thing, but I somehow got through on stubbornness and the vague hope that if nobody found Nivea's body, might by some miracle have survived. That miracle was you. Far too willing to ascribe things to miracles. You returned my beloved to me when I'd nearly lost all hope of seeing her alive again. Then you went on a suicide mission to the Gray Garrison and won the city back for us. You turned a defeat into a victory. No, it wasn't easy, but you make everything seem so effortless. You do it just like that, she says with a snap of her fingers. The Queen believes in your powers too, but for me, they're just more proof of what I felt that day when I saw Nivea alive, standing next to you. You're the miracle we've been waiting for. You're the one who will finally put an end to this terrible war, and in spite of everything, deliver us the victory we so desperately need. With you, I'm sure this crusade will achieve what the others could not. I found this scabbard with your family name on it in the Great Garrison. Arabeth looks down. The scabbard held the solemn hour, my family's sword. My father once fought with it. I took it when I left home to become a paladin. Alas, it was not stolen. I parted with my heirloom willingly to help someone dear to me. Anivia needed expensive healing, and having no other way to procure the money, I pawned my father's sword. I think he would have understood. Sure, he would have given up everything to help the family. I hoped to redeem the solemn hour eventually, but there was never enough money, and soon the sword disappeared from the pawn shop altogether. I have no idea who took it. Seems like I'll have to part with my family's sword forever. Well, you have the scabbard. Arabeth lovingly traces the name imprinted on silver on the scabbard's leather. My parents were loyal servants, yet it wasn't enough to earn them a title or a coat of arms. Still, however humble our name might be, it's worthy of something. I don't know if I'll ever see the solemn hour again, but at least I have its scabbard back, thank you. We need reinforcements. Can you get us more soldiers? Elizabeth frowns. When we began the march to Dresden, we'd chose speed over numbers. If I order more volunteers to be recruited, they simply won't arrive in time. We could pay majors to deliver the troops to the camp, except I doubt our army coffers could afford it. If you could spare 7,500 gold coins... Yes, I can. Here you are. Go get the troops. Consider it done. I have to go. I have no wish to discuss your origins, for goodness sake. Let me just take a quick look through the infos of the books. Knight Commander, how can I help? There's so much I can do. Just ask. Nora looks at you with eyes filled with enthusiasm, holding a notebook and a traveller's inkwell. You've probably heard of the wound I have, the one that sometimes opens on my chest. Can you perhaps tell me if there's some kind of demonic curse? Yes, indeed, I've been told of your affliction. Nora ears at the centre of your chest. Can you will the wound to open? No, that's a shame. What can you tell me about this wound? Well, it's difficult to say. I know of blades that leave never healing cuts, of poisons that stop wounds from healing. I've heard of witches' curses that are rewarded with eternal wounds, but the wounds that seem to reopen and heal over time, over and over. Perhaps you know of other causes like this. I think 4671, Mendivian Army Corporal had all his bones and cartilage turned to glass. 4700 describing it. I'm not listening to this nonsense. Apparently, you don't know anything. You think it's dangerous? It most likely is dangerous, but you're under the protection of Iomade, Commander. I wouldn't bet on that. You're granted your mythic power, as they say. Surely the Inheritor would not leave you to face this alone. Have you perhaps noticed that the wound opens at moments when you waver in your faith? Perhaps it's triggered by doubt. Frowning, Nora looks at you with sincere concern. Thank you for your answers. You tell me about yourself. Oh my, I could tell you so many amazing things, and you choose the most boring one of all. But all right, about myself. Where are you from? Isga, a small piece of land that proudly calls itself a country, though it hasn't been independent for a single day in all of its existence. They have a lot of national pride. All of it is borrowed. Always looking for a great day when they can at last be free from the rule of Chiliacs. The Isgeri love talking politics. If two of them start bargaining over beats at the market, you can be sure they'll end up arguing about whether an independent Isga will be a monarchy or a republic. I've always found it funny to listen to, and a little disgusting. You see, there are a lot of us halflings in the country, but very few are citizens. Most are slaves. I was lucky. I've always been clever ever since I was little. Well, they sent me to school instead of making me do the grunt work. They taught me to count and write, and I was sold to a secretary to Lord Axilar Tresbot. He's the one I left Isgar with. Never to return, I hope. Come to serve Queen Galfrey. I was a slave of Lord Axilar Tresbot in Isgar, my homeland. Oh, what a man he was. He towered over his fellows like a rock over a garbage heap, a true hero. He bought me as a simple secretary, but he made me learn the history of the Worldwood. All of it, one volume after another. He hired tutors for me, even sent me to meet prominent historians. He didn't want a simple slave, but a slave with an impeccable education. Lord Tresbot was going on a crusade. He firmly believed that the servants of the good gods were weak, and only a follower of Asmodeus could stand against demon invasion. He took me along as his secretary, historian, and most importantly, He entrusted me with recording his glorious story for future generations. In his crusade, Lord Tresbot performed many brave feats, but even he could not stand against the world wound alone. In his final battle with the demons, when my lord realized that he was doomed, his final act was to cover my retreat, so that I could tell the world of his great deeds. Some people have said what he did was not heroic, just an arrogant moron puffing himself up one last time. But I say, curse their tongues. My difficult journey ended in Mendev, where I found my freedom. There I published Lord Tresbot's biography, and I don't want to boast, but I'm kidding. Of course I do. The book sold in great numbers and made me rather famous for a time. That's what brought me to the Queen's attention. She invited me to her court. After all, she was curious about my deceased lord, and she was in great need of an expert on the history of the world wound. I hope you'll find me useful as well. You're not just a historian, but a writer too. Are you planning to write about my crusade? Why not? As soon as we finish off the demons, I'll get right to it. Just take care that you don't end up like Lord Tresbot. I care not who you worship. But thank you for your answers. Tell me the history of the world wound. Actually, that's way too long. I have to go. If I need information from you, I'll ask at the time.
Hello again. I'm very pleased to meet you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. It's a pity I wasn't there at the Gray Garrison to witness your feats of strength with my own eyes. The flash, however, could be seen miles and miles away. Some people were frightened of it, thinking that the demons had blown up the remains of the keep. I, for one, knew immediately that it was a good sign. The light above the city showed us that there was still hope.
Who are you, and how could you possibly be any use to my army?
My name is Sozio Vanek. I am a cleric of Shaylin, the Eternal Rose and the Goddess of Beauty. Yes, I know that many people would consider me useless in a war. This is not a usual war, though. Just consider our enemy. The Abyss and his demons are the very embodiment of everything evil and ugly in the world. Perhaps a disciple of kindness and beauty might come in handy.
I have my doubts.
I have no doubt that we will win this war, Commander. We just have to. It is our destiny. My role is to help you, and all those standing by your side in this struggle, to survive and flourish. Everyone deserves the chance to find peace and happiness in the world that they are defending so selflessly.
You wanted to discuss something with me, right?
Yes, I have a personal request. Before we undertake our journey and leave Canabris behind, I would like to visit Martyr Zacharias' cemetery for a funeral. It's not far from here, and it's important. I would like to pay my respects to my friends from the Temple of Shaylin who died defending the city. Also, if it's not too much trouble, I would like you to come with me to honor their memory. Their friends and family will be at the funeral, and perhaps the commander's personal presence will bring them comfort.
Very well.
I know that you are burdened by many cares right now, so I understand if you can't find the time. But if you could, I would be sincerely grateful.
It's nice meeting you, but I sincerely need to go.
You must be rather busy indeed. Leading a crusade all by yourself is no joke. I still believe that you are up to the task. This war has been raging for 100 years, but you've given us a chance at victory.
It will not be a chance, it will be victory. Well now, let us leave. We have things to get underway. You're the war chief now. You're going to lead us to free Sarkoris from Nosfe. Oblig nods his head with respect. I felt it the moment I saw you. This one is special. But that you'd go and get yourself a whole army in no time, I didn't expect. Well, how does your newfound power feel? You on to your head yet? Going to fight demons, not Fae. Fae, demons, angels. Oblig screws up his face and waves his hand in front of it, like he's trying to get rid of a foul smell. They're all the same spooks. They could have stayed in their magicy forests happy as a pig in mud, but no. They had to poke their funny heads into the mortal world. Hold on. Don't change subject, eh? What do you think about being a war chief? Oh, this is going to be so much fun. Easy there. There's a time for play and then there's a time for work. We have a war to fight, not a jig to dance. We'll have our fun when we win, but right now, things are serious. Well, I didn't come here just to flap my gums. Since I'm going to war, and you're in charge, I better do it the right way. Ulbricht lowers his head and says solemnly, My blade and my life are yours, War Chief. I mean, it's not like I need a blade. My talons and beak will do the trick. But saying it like that is the dumb thing. My talon and beak are yours, just doesn't have the same ring to it. I've seen your talons and beak. It's more impressive than a sword. There's something else I can already see things are bad. But the tales of all Sarkoris burning down and its people dying out, I'm sorry, I don't believe those. It can't be true. We're not the kind of folks to be snuffed out just like that. I have kin in a village not far from here. Current clan. Let's go there and talk to them. Have them fill us in. They're smart folks, perhaps they'll help us in battle too. Together, we'll clean up Sarkoris before you can say, Alright, ye foul creatures. Ulbricht bumps his fist into his palm with a chuckle of bravado. Alright, I'll go prepare for the road. Take care, War Chief. For now, Ember, you can stay back here. We need to travel with him to Zacharias' funeral. Or cemetery, whatever. Right there. Well, my friends, hit the like, comment, subscribe if you want the channel to grow. Join us next time. Bye now.